The president said the virus will go away. They mock him and make fun of him. The virus will go away.
Yes, thank you.
Every virus that's ever come has come and gone.
Yes.
Could it come back? Yes. But here's the good news, the other thing. They won't say one thing about immunity. I've had it.
Exactly.
I can't get it again. I can't give it to you. I can't get it.
So Rand Paul got caught making some stock trades that were pretty gosh darn suspicious, especially for somebody who seemed to have thought that the coronavirus pandemic wasn't a big deal. After filing a financial disclosure very late, it was revealed that Rand Paul's wife had invested in a company that owns an antiviral drug. This happened in the early days of the pandemic, when Rand Paul was running around telling people that coronavirus was no big deal. He made a great display of opposing things like mask mandates, and that actually led to him being literally the first senator to be infected with coronavirus.
Senator Rand Paul is the first U.S. lawmaker, first senator specifically, to test positive for COVID-19.
But now it seems he's been caught with his hand in the cookie jar. While he was running around in the early days of the pandemic telling people that it was no big deal, it turns out he was also investing in companies, or specifically his wife was investing in companies that own an antiviral drug, something that would be important if the pandemic was to get very bad.
It's time for us to resist. They can't arrest all of us. They can't keep all of your kids home from school. They can't keep every government building closed.
Now, other senators had faced similar investigations along these lines, and it really speaks to the shamelessness of the Republican Party. They will do this insider trading and bet with their wallet that the pandemic was going to get horrible, then turn around to the public and actively make the pandemic worse by telling people not to follow things like mask mandates. But I think this raises a much more important question. And that is, why are elected officials allowed to own stock in the first place? Now, I would argue to say that the reason why they're allowed to own stock is because rich people actually love it that they own stock. Have you ever wondered why both Democrats and Republicans always seem to agree on the fact that the line should always go up, that we should always have increasing stock prices? Well, that's because they all, for the most part, have a lot of money in the stock market. They make a lot of money off of that system, and rich people love that. Because if you're the CEO of BP or ExxonMobil, what you want to make sure is that the senators have the same financial interests that you do. That really underpins the whole theory of the stock market as a whole, because if all these rich people invest in each other's companies, then they all have a financial interest to make sure that other companies are just as protected and financially secure as they are. Now, if you wanted to be really cynical, you could say that Rand Paul had a profit incentive to make the pandemic worse. Because since the company his wife invested in owned an antiviral drug, more people would need that antiviral drug if the pandemic did in fact get worse. Which, as we all know, it clearly did, as here we are over a year later, still with coronavirus. Congratulations, Rand Paul. You should be really proud of yourself. This is Ben Carollo with Rebel Headquarters. You can follow me on Twitter if you want to stay up to date with my content. You can also catch me on the Young Turks Twitch channel every Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time with my show Galaxy Brain.